And let's get rid of it and avoid the sack.
7:08 remains here in the first quarter. It is 7-6 St. Charles. That is number 22 for St. Charles. A very impressive run there. Peter James. He shakes off a couple of tackles, not a lot of tackles, but just a few, to get all the way to the 28-yard line. It is now, they are now going to bring out the chains.
That's an interesting call right there. We get a face mask. I really didn't see it, but apparently the official was right on top of it, and he made the call. Interesting early, getting some big penalties on Independence.
The penalties here are killing Independence, but nonetheless, it is a one-point ball game, 7-6, 6:56 left to play in the first, and St. Charles has the ball at the 44-yard line. Backs are in an I formation. Now let's see what St. Charles can come up with next. Remember the last time they were here, they ran the trick play for the touchdown. The give is to number 22, and that is Peter James. He gets about 4 or 5 on the play. It is now going to be second and about 5 yards to go. So St. Charles here early on having success running the football.
Todd, that's their zone stretch running play where they basically just base the lineman, string them out to the outside, and the running back reads a block off the tight end and did a nice job right there.
It's passed to Singleton in the backfield. But I'll tell you what, it is the speed of Independence that gets to that play and prevents the trick play from occurring. I think they kind of read that. Anytime you see Singleton or anybody of that type of athletic skill line up in that type of position, you can expect the trick play to occur. Independence with the great defensive skill there to shut it down.
That was a double pass, and the defensive backs for Independence read it right off the bat. They knew what was coming, and they did a good job of preventing a big play right there.
3rd and 11 now for St. Charles. Big play here. They're in the same set. The give, it's fake to James. He makes a good block. Pass is complete. And they'll get the first down. The pass is all the way to Clayton Madere. And they will pick up the first down. So St. Charles, their offensive drives here have been like a roller coaster. One play they're doing good, the next play they just fall apart. And with that play, an example of how disciplined they are. It just seemed like everybody did their key thing. The running back out of the backfield. We have a rather interesting situation. It should be the pooch punt, but no. They run to James. And James gets out of bounds. And an extremely strange play there, Mark.
Yeah, I think we got some flags on the play. I don't know what we're going to have right here. I don't know if somebody was over the neutral line or was an illegal formation. St. Charles is trying to pull out all the stops. We can see that right now. They ran the reverse pass. There's going to be a legal procedure against St. Charles.
Eagles and winless. Point Capiz Central could be looking at another 0-5 team that perhaps could break into the win column tonight when it really counts. Let's show you some of the action and see if it happens for Point Capiz, as it's been a long year for them. Parkview cheerleaders have had a lot to celebrate so far this season with 3 non-district wins and a 3-2 record. Trying a little razzle-dazzle with the fake punt here, but as you see, Darren Griffin makes the nice defensive play.
Really, if you look at the films, I saw some film of St. Charles. They really haven't done a lot of trick plays. They will run it. They will run a lot of different things. They run a bunch of different formations. Use run a lot of different looks off of different formations.
Passman will be sacked. That is Joe Brown. Fumble on the football play. He is sacked by Joe Brown. And number 88, that is Rex Gazzardo, picking up the football and going all the way down to about the 21 or 22 yard line. Joe Brown simply came unblocked. Amazing.
Yeah, St. Charles has a habit of leaving the ends unblocked on that side, on the quarterback's front side for some reason, and once again they did it there, and Joe Brown made a big hit on Passman. Rex Gazzardo picks it up and has the Tigers at 18-yard line going in.
Big series of downs now for Independence. It is key here to get points out of this drive. They give to Harris. Harris gets all the way down to the 3-yard line. First down and goal to go at the 3-yard line. And Joe Harris off of left tackle takes it all the way to the 4-yard line. Excuse me, that is where the ball is being placed. So Independence with a tremendous opportunity here to go and to grab the lead for the first time in this football game. Timeout on the play. Let's hear from some of our sponsors.
Thank you, Todd. Game's being brought to you by Ragusa's Building Supplies Company, located on Highway 51 in Independence at 404 West Railroad Avenue. It has all the building supplies you can possibly need. Ragusa's can supply building materials for every description, as well as hardware items and supplies for all types of plumbing and electrical work. See Ragusa's today for what you need to build, remodel, or renovate. Ragusa's prices are just like their supplies. Good. That's Ragusa Building Supplies Company. Compliments a Big 4 Auto Parts store on Highway 51 in Independence. It's Smitty Supplies located on Highway 51, just north of Roseland. And back to the game.
First and goal for the Tigers. Obviously, they are going to go to Joe Harris here on this play. Probably all three of them. Here's Joe Harris. Touchdown, Independence. The question was, what type of Joe Harris play were we going to see there?
It was just looked like the power. I'm not sure if it was the power of the Lamb right there, but Todd, Robbie Powell and Chris Thompson and Joe Brown are just blowing St. Charles off the line of scrimmage early in the ball game. Now, it's interesting to see how it's going to play out in the fourth quarter once they tire St. Charles 2 platoons, so we'll see if they can keep that up. That's just a big hole right there. Joe Harris found the seam and cracked it in the end zone. Tigers will go for 2.
They're going to go for 2. Joe around the right side, and he'll be stopped. Big play there for Independence. Much bigger there for St. Charles. It is now 12-7. It could have been 14-7. We'll take a break.
Game is being brought to you by Alessi's, with store in Independence, Kentwood, Amite, and Hammond. Alessi's has always been known for its TVs and stereos, and now it's becoming just as well known for appliances. For first-class merchandise and such names as Whirlpool, GE, RCA, and Sony, drop in at one of the Alessi's stores. In Independence, Alessi's is located at 106 Railroad Avenue. Their phone number, 878-9269. Just drop by Alessi's for the perfect Christmas present. Tonight's games compliments of Paul's Pharmacy. Paul Duran, owner, located at 208 West Railroad Avenue in Independence. We care about you and your health. Paul offers patient counseling and computerized prescription profiles. Their phone number, 878-4401 or 878-26-2826. That's Paul Duran of Paul's Pharmacy.
3:58. That is the time remaining in the first period of play here. Independence has just scored. Singleton has trouble with the kickoff again. Boy, I tell you, he had a seam on the right side there, but decided to go left with the football, and they'll take it all the way to the 19-yard line. 12-7, Independence. The ball is at the 27-yard line. That is where St. Charles will set up. Passman on the play fake. Has time, but then sacked. Flags are on the play, though. Rex Gazzardo makes the sack for Independence. However, there are flags on the play. It is going to be against St. Charles. And just when the penalties seem to be hurting Independence, now they are starting to hurt St. Charles.
Yeah, it's going to be declined because of the sack. Coach Baglio said before the game that he's going to try to put pressure on Passman. He feels like that's the best way to control this diversified St. Charles offense, and so far we're seeing that. I think that's the third sack, or maybe the fourth of the game already for the Tigers. Peter James on the draw, and he breaks free. Peter James breaks outside, and he's brought down by number 31, Frank Galaforo. It'll bring up a second down for the Comets. They got Rex Gazzardo on the play.
And it is going to be 3rd and 17 now for St. Charles. Rather large play here for them. If you're just joining us, Independence has scored 2 touchdowns, both courtesy of, who else? Joe Harris. He took it from 46 yards out in the first one, and then he took it out from 4 yards out. Both of the extra point tries failed. It is 12-7. He's under pressure. The ball is thrown over middle and incomplete. There on the pressure for Independence was number 74, Mike Benton, 6'3", 255-pound junior. He is the nose tackle. And Passman has not had a very pleasant evening in the pocket.
He's being harassed, Todd. You saw Mike Benton, all 6'3" of him got in, forced a bad throw, had a guy open once again, but he just didn't have time to make a complete and make an accurate pass, and that's the problem.
They're forced to punt, and it's a rather good one, but it's going to be downed at the 45-yard line. And that is where Independence will take over. Independence has had pretty good field position all evening long, and here's another good, fine example of that. And the good field position is a direct result of their defense.
Thank you, Todd. This game is being brought to you Custom Tees and Sweats, featuring custom silk screening, lettering and airbrushing, embroidering and monogramming, located in downtown Hammond. They also are the supplier of the Holy Ghost Spirit shirts and sweatshirts. That's Custom Tees and Sweats. Their phone number 345-4196.
1st and 10. They give to Harris off a left tackle. Fumble on the play, but he falls on his own football. And Joe Harris is down, ladies and gentlemen. He tried to get up, but he is obviously in pain at midfield. That is not good news for Independence fans. It appears to me that he may have fallen on the football trying to recover it, and that might be the cause. Looks like he just may be short of breath.
Yeah, I think that's what happened, Todd. I think he fell on the football because he really dove on it hard, and as we all know, that can knock the breath out of you. But it's a scary sight to see Joe Harris down on the football field, whether you're a Tiger fan, St. Charles fan, or whoever, see a talent like that down on the field.
It's sad to see anybody down on the field, but a talent like Joe Harris scares you. Joe Harris is being treated on the sidelines. He appears to be fine. 2nd and 8 now for Independence. Suarez back to pass. In and out of the hands of number 32 for Independence. That is Trey Pignot.
Well, the Tigers, Independence had Trey Pignot out in the flats on that play. Suarez hit him. May have been a slick ball right there, but he didn't come up with a reception. We're going to have a 3rd down and 8. And Joe Harris is back in the game for the Tigers.
Third 3rd and 8 now for Independence. Harris is the lone setback. Suarez wants to pass. He's got plenty of time, and it's complete. Boy, I tell you, it's complete to number 4, Marion Johnson, but Johnson has the tendency to have that football in that one single hand. That's, I don't want to say dangerous, but not exactly a safe way of carrying the football.
It's dangerous, Todd, but he has monstrous hands. If you ever get a chance to see Marlon's hands, he can catch a wet football. It doesn't matter if the ball's wet, dry, or whatever. He can catch it in his hands. He has great hands, Todd.
That puts him in, well, that'll give him the first down. Joe Harris on the delay, and he is stuffed hard as led there by number 45 for Independence, along with number 85. That's respectively Travis Lemoyne and Chad Daigle. Still trying to get all the names straight here in the Independence St. Charles game. It is 12-7, the Tigers. Independence moving the ball well here on this drive. It is 2nd and 8 from the 38. The give is to Harris off a left side. Most of you who have watched Tangipahoa television remember what I referred to as the run. It was commonly referred to as the run by myself because it was so awesome. Joe Harris broke off a touchdown run against Amite. It was simply incredible. This run just may have topped that one. Joe Harris on a, well, I tell you, every time I cover Independence, he seems to come up with one of those types of football runs. Mark, it was a run that proves two things. One, it proved his tremendous breakaway speed. It also proved his tremendous ability of just shaking off tacklers. It was unbelievable.
Todd, it also proves what Tiger fans here in Independence have seen since he was a freshman on the JV team. He's just a special player, Todd. He has great balance, awareness. He can shake tackles, and he has this burst of speed when he breaks a tackle that just separates, unlike like most running backs. There's another great run by Joe Harris. He's been doing it all year, and this may have been one of his best ones right here. I've seen all the Independence games this year, and this may have been the best one.
I talked a little bit about the Amite run, shaking off so many tackles and getting into the end zone. But this one, shaking off so many, then getting to the outside, and the speed to get into the end zone untouched. It was unbelievable. So with 1:07 remaining, Independence, what started out to be a very scary football game for them, are now on top 18-7.
Well, Todd, it's 18-7, but St. Charles has an explosive offense. The Tigers cannot let up with the 18-7 lead. They're going to have to play 4 quarters in this football game. There's no doubt about it. And
there's a fumble on the 2-point conversion, and it fails. So Independence not having the joy of converting their extra points. 18-7, first quarter.
First half's actions, compliments of State Representative Buster Guzzardo, your full-time representative in Baton Rouge. Representative Guzzardo is accessible, and he has worked diligently to help the state and the district. His door is always open. And Buster Guzzardo tells everyone, Happy Thanksgiving. Compliments of Pete Sr. and Pete Jr., both registered pharmacists at Pete Value Right Pharmacy, located at 101 West Railroad Avenue in Independence, where you get personalized service as well as a computerized prescription profile. That's Pete's Pharmacy at 101 West Railroad Avenue, located in downtown Independence. Ragusa Building Supplies Company, located on Highway 51 in Independence.
And we've got just about a minute remaining here in the first quarter. And St. Trad Artermont bringing it to the 39-yard line for St. Charles, and that's where they'll set up. 1st and 10 from the 40-yard line. Actually, it's from the 36 or 37-yard line. So we'll see what St. Charles will resort to. They seem to be running the football well here in the first quarter. We'll see if they continue to do that. Man in motion. The give is to James. Boy, I tell you, St. Charles doing a good job of running.
So I don't think St. Charles can abandon a running game right now. It's only 18-7 in the first quarter, only 11-point difference. St. Charles can put together a nice drive right here and punch one in the end zone and right back in the game. Their problem, Todd, is they have to stop, find a way to slow down this explosive Independence offensive line. And then once Joe Harris is stopped, he's breaking tackles. They have to find a way to solve problems on defense. I think offensively, they stay patient, they can move the football.
22 seconds remain. This will probably be the last play in the first quarter. Man in motion, flags on the play. And we may have had a delay of game here, and that seems to be the call against St. Charles. They just took too much time on that play. So, again, penalties seem to be striking against St. Charles.
Well, we've had a lot of flags here early in the first quarter. We've had our share both ways. Independence has had a couple of big ones that really haven't come back to haunt them yet, but I hope it's not one of those evenings, Todd.
I hope it's not either. 2nd and 5 from the 37-yard line. Passman back to pass. He's under pressure. Boy, I tell you, a fumble on the play. There is a fumble on the play, but St. Charles recovers. But I tell you, tremendous pressure from the Independence defensive line. They are just coming off the play, led by Joe Brown and Gazzardo. They are just absolutely dominating that line of scrimmage.
Physically, coming into the game, Todd, everyone knew Independence has a much more physical football team, but St. Charles, 2 platoons. So later in the game, we're going to have to see how that plays out. Well, the Independence big people tire. It's not really that warm tonight, so maybe they won't, but we're going to have to see later on in the game how that plays out.
18-7 in favor of the Tigers.
Channel 17 games being brought to you by Pete's Pharmacy, Ragusa Building Supplies, Big Four Auto Parts, and Smitty Supplies, Hall's Pharmacy, Alessi's, Representative Buster Gazzardo, Custom Tees and Sweats, and Robert's Hair Design located in downtown Hammond. Games complement a Big Four Auto Parts store on Highway 51 in Independence and Smitty Supplies located on Highway 51 just north of Roseland, Louisiana. For all your auto needs, that's Big Four Auto Parts and Smitty Supplies.
So at the end of one period of play, it is 18-7 Independence. Let's quickly recap some of the scoring. It all started with St. Charles. On a trick play, Singleton got the ball in the backfield and passed to the quarterback, Passman. He then went out from 1 yard out, and they led early 7-0. But Independence would, of course, come back. And, of course, it was all done by Joe Harris. First, it was a 46-yard burst up the middle, 6-7. Then it was a 4-yard touchdown, and then a 42-yard run. And that is where we stand, 18-7. They missed all their extra points. James on the left, on the right side, and he gets all the way near the 30-yard line, but that won't be enough. And it looks like St. Charles will punt.
Todd, Peter James, Jr. for St. Charles, little guy, he's about 5'5", 5'6", about 150 pounds, real exciting runner, has great speeds. I think he's a 4.5 runner. He's capable of breaking one, so if they spring him, he could go. But on that play, Independence did a nice job on a draw play.
Boy, it looked like Independence may have gotten there on the line early, but no flags. Marion Johnson on the return. He gets a couple, not much more than that.
Benitez, don't get a Coke. Give me a water. Water.
2 Cokes.
We have just began the second quarter of play here at Independence Stadium, and it's 1st and 10 for the Tigers. Backs are in an I formation. The give is to Harris off the right side. Shakes a few tackles. He gets to the 50 where he is then stopped. It is a gain of 6 or 7 on the play. One thing that impresses me about Joe Harris, among his fantastic qualities, is his spin move. That impresses me a lot. I think few running backs at the high school level can really dominate and learn that move as well as he can. He really knows how to spin off of tackles.
He's been doing it for 3 years now. You know, the thing that separates him this year from his sophomore year and his junior years, he's gotten bigger and faster. But he's always had that strength and those explosive moves. He's always had that, but I think this year he's gained about 10 pounds from last year. He's added about 1/10 or 2/10 to his 40 speed, so that's what separates him this year from years past.
You saw that spin move on that play. That'll give him the first down. Flags on the play. Harris breaks his stride and goes across the other side of the field and all the way to the 20-yard line. He picks up the first down.
There's a flag on the play. Joe Harris picks up about
And that'll be holding against Independence, but nonetheless it was holding, but Harris still gets the first down.
Yeah, I'm sure there was a hold there. This is a good crew. I don't think they would call it, but they are a little flag happy early in the game. You hate to see that in a big game like this. You hate to see the officials take over the game, but if the penalties are happening, you have to call it. I mean, that's just the nature of the game, but you would like to see them be a little bit more lenient both ways. But if they're happening, you have to call them.
So Independence has been flagged for their 3rd holding penalty. It may have been their second. Second or third, we're not quite sure. Suarez back to pass. Good block from Harris. It's complete to Joe Brown. And Joe Brown gets almost to the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd and 10. And there is an injured St. Charles player on the field. We'll take a break.
Second corner action. Compliments of Paul's Pharmacy. Paul Doran, owner, located at 208 West Railroad Avenue in Independence. At Paul's Pharmacy, they care about you and your health. Paul offers patient counseling and computerized prescription profiles. Paul's phone numbers are 878-4401, 878-2826. Custom Tees and Sweat, featuring custom silk screening, lettering and airbrushing, embroidering and monogramming. Located in downtown Hammond. That's Custom Tees, where they carry the Holy Ghost Spirit shirts and sweatshirts. Channel 17's games, compliments of State Representative Buster Guzzardo, your full-time representative in Baton Rouge. Representative Guzzardo is accessible, and he has worked diligently to help the state and the district. His door is always open. And of course, Representative Guzzardo is here tonight at the Independence game because he loves these Independence Tigers. Tonight's games also compliments of Ragusa's Building Supplies Company, located on Highway 51 in Independence at 404 West Railroad Avenue. They have all the building supplies you can possibly need. Ragusa's can supply building materials on every description, as well as hardware items, supplies for all types of plumbing and electrical work. See Ragusa today for what you need to build, remodel, or renovate. Ragusa prices are just like their supplies. Very good. And next time you're in Ragusa's, tell them that you heard about them on Channel 17.
Ball to 37-yard.
Second and 11 now for the Tigers. Suarez is back to pass, but he gives it to Harris. Harris gets maybe 2 or 3 on the play, and not much more than that. It is now 3rd and 11 for Independence. And you don't really want to prelude a play by saying that they should go to the air because of how good the running game is going. But could we see, you know, the only time Suarez has really gone to the air is when Joe Harris was on the sidelines. I don't know, what do you think we might see here, 3rd and 11?
It's a good question, because when you have a back like Harris, you can be 3rd and 20 and he can pick it up, as we've seen in the past. But you might see some type of hitching. Goes 2 down territory, so you might see some type of deep pass right here, a hitch and go or some kind of rail route. I'm not really sure, but I think it is 2 down territory for the Tigers.
That's all right. Go down. Back to pass. It is almost intercepted, in and out of the hands of number 52, Maurice Bear. I've got to.
I got you. I'm sorry.
It is now 4th and 8 for Independence. 4th and 8, and the Tigers will go for it. I guess it's not too surprising that they'll do that. Suarez wants to pass, and he's going for the end zone, and it is intercepted. What a break there for Independence.
That was a mistake.
That was a mistake, but a rather nice mistake, because the ball is intercepted at the 5-yard line. Had the ball been thrown incomplete, St. Charles would have taken over all the way up at the 34-yard line. So Independence gets a break.
Independence was very fortunate. One of the best things that could happen when you go for it on 4th down is if you don't get it, you want an interception down inside the 5-yard line or inside the 10, and that's what happened. Kids see a ball coming their way, their first instinct is to catch it, and he did, and now St. Charles is backed up once again.
St. Charles in a very familiar situation here inside the 10-yard line. It's happened 3 times this evening, and all 3 times they've been forced to punt. They give to James. He is stopped. He is hit immediately. Rex Gazzardo was there, as well as number 72. That is Chris Thompson, 6'2", 265 sophomore. It is now 2nd and 9 for St. Charles. The Fighting Comets. The give is to James on the pitch. He won't get much. He is stopped by number 77, Joe O'Neill. Reggie Tofield was there as well for the Independence Tigers. 3rd and 9 now for St. Charles.
I said, Todd, you could see James' explosive ability right there. He really didn't have a lot in the backfield, and he exploded up a hole, and he picked up 5 yards. A nice little gain for St. Charles. It gives them a little bit of room here to maybe either run the ball or throw something out in the flats. And they still have a nice, maybe not backed up quite as much if they have to punt.
3rd and 4. He wants to pass. He does, and it's incomplete. The ball was slightly overthrown. The ball was intended for James. Just in and out of his hands. So St. Charles, once again for the 4th time this evening, is forced to punt by starting out inside their own 10-yard line. 7 minutes and 50 seconds remain in the first half. Will Independence go for the block? And they back off, and whoa, it's almost blocked instead by number 24. Ball will bounce And roll out of bounds right at the 49-yard line. Number 24, Darren Brister, was right there for the Tigers and nearly got his hands on that one.
Todd, generally the Tigers like to go for the block, but I think right in this situation, they knew they were going to get the ball in good field position. They don't want to rough the punter with 7:38 to play in the half. They've been blowing St. Charles off the line of scrimmage for the most part, so it's better to take the ball in good field position than risk roughing the punter. So I think that's why they backed off in that game.
The ball is just beyond the 50-yard line at the St. Charles 49. Backs in an I formation, the same set as before. The give is to Harris. Off the left side, he'll bounce, but he won't get much. A fine defensive play there by number 45. That is Travis Lemoyne, the inside linebacker. And that'll be about a gain of 1 yard, not much more than that. 2nd and 9 now for Independence. .703 remains in the first half. Harris is the lone setback. The pitch is to him. He runs the sweep off to the right side and barrels his way for about 4 yards, not much more than that. Sometimes you'll see number 31 for Independence. That is, of course, Frank Galaforo, line up in that slot formation there.
Right, what they like to do is line up in the slot and toss out of that. Spread the defense out. You get their linebacker out on there, spread out and get a one-on-one block and let Joe Harris cut off the blocks. It's been an effective play all year long for him. He picked up 6 yards on that play, brings up a 3rd down and 3.
I can remember several instances where that came effective in the Amite game.
Right.
And the Independence Tigers will call timeout. Of course, 6 minutes and 10 minutes remain here in the first half of play, and Coach Baglio will talk to his troops and we'll pause.
Games being brought to you, compliments of Pete Sr. and Pete Jr., both registered pharmacists at Pete's Value Right Pharmacy, located at 101 West Railroad Avenue in Independence, where you get personalized service as well as a computerized prescription profile. That's Pete's Pharmacy, 101 West Railroad Avenue in Independence. Ragusa Building Supplies Company, located on Highway 51 in Independence, 404 West Railroad Avenue. Compliments of Big 4 Auto Parts Store, Highway 51 in Independence, and Smitty Supplies, located on Highway 51 just north of Roseland. Alessi's with store in Independence, Kentwood, Amite, and Hammond. Compliments of State Representative Buster Gazzardo, your full-time representative at Baton Rouge.
Right, I know. When is it going to air? Is it going to air again besides Saturday? They run the reverse. On 3rd down, the reverse is to number 31, Frank Galaforo. You guys want me to talk about anything in re-air? First and 10 now for Independence. Backs are in an I formation. Flags on the play. Monday night. There are flags on the play. And that will be holding against Independence. And again, the holding play here comes up the 4th time this evening that the Tigers have been called for holding. I tell you, the holding penalty really kills you.
It's a momentum killer, Todd. No question about it, because what happens, you get a hold, you think, especially when you get several, you want to change your technique a little bit to adjust to the officials. And what happens is you get a less effective block. So it is a momentum killer, no question about it, but the officials are really throwing the flag tonight.
Harris is grabbed by the ankles, and that was number 47, Jerry Kleber.
got to interview Paige. I might have to cut half.
Brings up second down and still 20 yards to go for the first down.
It is second and about 20 yards to go for the first down here for the Tigers. They are not in the perfect situation that they'd like to be in. Nonetheless, they lead this football game 18-7. Just under 5 minutes left to play in the first half. Suarez is wide open. He has a receiver wide open, but the ball is caught. The ball is thrown and completed to Ray Collins. You have to wonder several things. One, did the defensive back see the football? And two, what a tremendous job there by Collins to leap up and grab the football.
Ray Collins is a steady receiver, Todd. He has outstanding hands. He's not afraid to catch the ball in traffic. He'll go get the football, and he did it right there. Suarez had him open, but the wet football slipped out of his hands. And he had to make a deep throw right there, and the ball hung up. But anytime it's underthrown, the receiver has an advantage.
The give is to Harris, and he'll be close to the goal line, but, well, I tell you, with all those jerseys down there, it's hard to see who made the stop. But nonetheless, he gets all the way to about the 3-yard line, not much more than that. So Independence catching a break there on that long pass. It's just thrown up, looked like a prayer, just thrown up in the air, and they came down with it. And it was a tremendous play, several fakes on the play. Harris, oh, what a run. He may not have gotten into the end zone, but he just literally ran all over the defenders, in and out of the defenders' hands. The ball is going to rest on the 3-yard line. Excuse me, the 1-yard line. It is now 3rd and goal. And if they don't have Joe Harris, I would say this is a pretty big play, but you know they're going to have one more shot with Joe Harris in there. Joe Brown and Joe Harris are the upbacks. It's a quarterback sneak, and wow. Boy, I tell you, look at the offensive line. Look where they're standing. They're about 2 yards into the end zone.
The defensive linemen, I believe, I have to see a replay on this, but I think the defensive linemen were slanting toward the gaps to stop Harris. I mean, they had to sell out on that play. Quarterback sneak. The Tigers don't run very many of them. They've maybe done it 3 or 4 times this year. They had to gamble with what the tendencies were, and that's to run Joe Harris off tackle, and they slanted that way, and Suarez, offensive line, pushed him in the line into the end zone. Touchdown, Tigers.
Yeah, not much more to say about that one. I mean, that was just great execution on what was a relatively lucky play there for Independence. The throw and the catch by Collins at the 5-yard line. Obviously, it wasn't that lucky. They planned it that way. He was wide open early on, and Suarez waited just a tad bit long, but a great athletic ability there by Collins to jump up and get the football. Then Independence just simply busted in, and they lead this one 24-7, and the extra point is going to be converted here. Hopefully, they have missed 3 so far this evening. Let's see if they can pop this one in. They'll be going for 2. Joe Harris on the first 2-point conversion was very close. Same play as the first one. Boy, he got in. I tell you, put yourself in the body and mind of that first St. Charles defender. You nailed Joe Harris. I mean, good, clean, strong hit. Probably could have knocked anybody else in high school football down, but Joe Harris just simply acts like it was a bump on his knee. It's just unbelievable. It just pops in.
You saw a great second effort by a great football player. He was stopped. His momentum was actually falling backwards on the play, but he remained his balance. The defender didn't lock him up, and he just bursted into the end zone. What can I say? It was just a great second effort by Joe Harris. He's really ready to play tonight, Todd. I can see that in his eyes. You can see that in his eyes. You can see that in the way he's running the football. He's determined. He's coming back after an injury. So having a great night.
It doesn't matter what number he wears. He could wear no number, and he'll get in to the end zone.
Also like to say on a two-point conversion, it was a great call by the Tiger coaching staff as they spread St. Charles out and ran the toss and enabled them to get some blocks on the outside. And enabled them to get some blocks on the outside and enabled Joe Harris to sneak into the end zone with a little crease. It was a great call on the goal line. It's a good goal line call.
It certainly was, and Independence now leads this one 26-7 with 3 minutes left to play here in the first half. You take away the trick play to start off this football game, and Independence leads this one 26-0. But the trick play is what opened up this football game. And James goes around the right side for a gain of maybe 2 or 3.
Picks up about 4 yards of the carry. Second down, 6 yards to go.
Second down and about 6 now for the Comets of St. Charles. Second and 6, ball at the 42-yard line. Ball is thrown out to the flat, the same trick play. Oh, boy, I tell you, good hands there by number 15 of St. Charles. That's Clayton Madere. And that play seems to be working for St. Charles.
Well, Anthony Hurst was in great shape on the play, but we have a muddy track down here, and you have a 6'4" tight end who almost made one heck of a catch for St. Charles. Really and truly, Todd, St. Charles has to run these plays to move the ball effectively. It's going to be hard for them to establish any kind of drive in their conventional offense.
Sean Murray is the lone wide receiver off to the left side. The give is to James. Number 21 of Independence nails him, and that was Ray Collins to make the immediate hit. So St. Charles is very close to the first down, and they are going to spot the ball at the 48-yard line, and they are going to bring out the chains. So they are extremely close. On the 3rd and 6 play, they get nearly 6 yards, and we'll see if they get the first down. 2:30 remains in the first half of play here at Independence. First down for St. Charles, and I tell you, looking at that measurement from my angle, it looked very, very close. But nonetheless, I'm up here, they're down there, and first down now for the Comets. Ball at the 48-yard line. And if they crack the 50, this will be the first time since the opening drive. James runs around right side. And he is brought down by number 77. Joe O'Neill. Second down and 4. We'll call it 2nd and 3, actually. Time is clicking away here in the first half. So St. Charles is right here, under 2 minutes left to play in the first half. The reverse to Singleton. He runs around the right side. He'll get the first down. And Singleton with a good burst of speed to get outside and was looking for a few blockers, but they just weren't there. But nonetheless, they get the first down. More importantly, he gets the big yardage and the clock stops.
This is a big drive for St. Charles, Todd. If they can put some points on the board, you know, they're still in the game. Independence gets the football, starts the second half, so they really need to score here to stay in the game. They're taking advantage of the Tigers' over pursuit and picked up a first down.
Flags on the play. And the call is offsides against St. Charles, and they'll be backed up. St. Charles now with 1st and 15, ball at the 37-yard line. Passman, he had a running lane, but he decided not to take it, and he is brought down by Joe O'Neill. Passman looked like he may have had a lane to run in, but that's not Passman's game. He'd rather pass the football.
He was looking for somebody to hit downfield. The Tigers are doing a good job of containing him right there. It looked like Joe Brown might have got hooked in the backfield, but no call was made. But St. Charles, 2nd down and 15.
Passman back to pass. He's under pressure again. Say what you want. Even if he had kept his footing, he would have been sacked anyways. He has slipped and falls. Credit the pressure to number 77, Joe O'Neill, as well as Rex Gazzardo. And Rex Gazzardo, he's been there all evening long. Minute 13 remains here in the first half of play. 3rd and 25 for St. Charles. 2 setbacks. Passman wants to pass. He's under pressure. Yeah. And the pass is thrown incomplete. Boy, it just seems like the St. Charles offensive linemen, as soon as the ball is snapped, immediately just start backtracking. They have just been demolished here in the first half.
This may be a good spot for the Tigers to go for a block. However, they may not want to rough the kicker once again, so they may just play it, let St. Charles kick it and just kneel on it and go in the locker room with a 26-7 halftime lead. This might not be a bad chance to go for it.
And the ball is down at the 26-yard line. So they don't block the punt. They didn't really go for the block. 1st and 10 now for Independence at the 25-yard line, and just under a minute here to play in the first half. A first half that has been dominated by who else? Joe Harris. 2 yards of plus 40 yards, including a 4-yard run. And that has been the story in the first half. They'll kneel the football, and time will pretty much expire here in the first half. And Independence is happy with their 26-7 lead, and they'll go into halftime with just that. 10 yards to go here for the first down, but they're going to just simply kneel the football. And Mark, real quick, like we talked about it, a half that has been dominated by Harris.
No doubt about it. I think it's a half dominated by the Independence offensive line, if you really want to look at it in that context.
Also the defensive line as well.
The whole total Tiger team effort have dominated in every aspect. They got burned on a big play Other than that, they snuffed out everything St. Charles has tried to do tonight.
And halftime, 26-7.
You'll find just about everybody in Independence on a Friday night these days. Everybody loves the Independence Tigers. And tonight I found in the crowd Paige McClendon Michelle. And Paige, don't you love this ball game?
Oh, it's wonderful. We're well on our way to a victory, and it's just fabulous to see everybody from Independence so excited about the team.
Well, you know, we have the Independence Tigerettes and the Flag Corps and the band coming up in a minute, and they are fabulous.
I've seen them perform before, Linda, several times. We've been to several of the games. They have such a good team this year. It's such a great time watching them, and the halftime show is one of the best parts of the game.
I know. I think, you know, the ladies always love it. They love football, but they really like the halftime, don't they?
Yeah, certainly, and the girls work awfully hard. I know when I was in high school, I did what they do, and I don't think I could do it now.
You know, people really forget football players have to practice a lot, but these Tigerettes and the Flag Corps and the band, they practice 12 months out of the year.
Right. They really put a lot into it, and they do a great job.
Paige, I want to take this opportunity to tell everyone that you're running for judge. And if you could tell me a little about what area you're running in.
Yes, we have an election coming up on April 3rd. We have a vacancy in our district court position. It covers a 3-parish area of St. Helena, Livingston, and Tangipahoa Parish. Judge Fogg moved up to the Court of Appeals, and as a result, we have a vacancy. So I will be running on April 3rd.
Okay, now, Paige, a lot of people do know you from this area. You can remember when we were growing up, everybody knew everyone, but we have so many new people that have moved into the area. Why don't you tell everyone where you're from?
I'm originally from Amite, Louisiana. My family has been there for about 5 generations, so I'm a native of this parish. I now live in Hammond, and I've grown up here, my brother and his wife, and all the family's still here in Tangipahoa Parish.
Now, you practice law in Hammond?
I practice in Hammond. It's Michelle and Michelle. We've been there about 5 years, and I've been practicing law about 11 years, but I've been 5 years back home, and it's wonderful being back.
Well, I guess you're getting ready, like everyone, for the Thanksgiving season here.
We are, but we're getting ready to spend a lot of time with family. I have a lot of work to do at the office, too, and I'm busy meeting everyone in my district, but we're looking forward to it, and we're looking forward to the Tigers making it to the Superdome.
Thank you so much. I'm sure you want to get back and watch this great halftime show.
I do. I wouldn't want to miss halftime, and it looks like the Tigers pretty much have it under control.
Thank you so much. That's Paige McClendon Michelle, and she's a candidate for judge coming up in the April race. Thanks. And now the Pride of Independence Band, the marching units, take the field. Tonight's performance will begin with the Eye of the Tiger, which features the Independence Tigerettes. The Indy Band is under the direction of Mr. Dan King. The opening drill was written by Code Drum Majors Margaret Giammalava and Christine Wallace. I need a Ross. The Independent Tigerettes. Officers are Sunshine Bethel, Robin Pino, Renetta Wells, and Lisa Gozzardo. Miss Lisa Genco is the sponsor of the Tigerettes. selection will be Shout, which features the flags and the trumpet solos of Jason Kirkpatrick. Members of the Independence flags are Lisa Davis, Veronica Cutter, Toshiva Jones, Dawn Milton, Tricika Poole, Shannon Well, Andrea Young. Flag officers are Lisa Davis, Andrea Young, and Miss Dawn Milton. Flag sponsor is Joanne Whitman. Now we'll hear a trumpet solo by Jason Kirkpatrick. Now we'll hear from the Independence High drum line, now featured in the percussion solo, written by Mr. Brian Costa. That was the Independence High drum line. Band will conclude tonight's performance with Get Ready. Band officers of the Independence Band, Damon Atkins, Misty McLeod, Keith Morgan, Cornell Lathers, Christy Haltom, Robin Powell, Desiree Wax, Rachel Carlos, Jeremy Castleberry, and Brian Costa. The Independence Band, this halftime is under the direction of Dan King, band director at Independence High School. Tonight's halftime has been compliments of Pete's Value Right Pharmacy, located at 101 West Railroad Avenue in Independence, the Gusta Building Supplies Company, located on Highway 51 in Independence, Big Four Auto Parts Store on Highway 51 Independence, Smitty Supplies located on Highway 51 just north of Roseland, Alessi's with store in Independence, Kentwood, Amite, and Hammond, Custom Tees and Sweats located in downtown Hammond. Paul's Pharmacy located at 208 West Railroad Avenue, Independence. State Representative Buster Gazzardo and Robert's Hair Design located on Cherry Street at downtown Hammond.
And down this to the ball. Up the right side. Just bring the ball down to the city.
Welcome back to the second half. The second half has started here in Independence. They lead this one 26-7. We've got a spattering of statistics for you here in the first half. Of course, as always, Joe Harris having the big game. He has 149 yards rushing. But the key for Independence is their defense. St. Charles has a total of 63 yards of total offense. 65 yard total offense, 62 of them coming from the arm of Brett Passman. So they have 3 yards total running. They've been running the ball all night. That may surprise you, but basically it has been for losses. That's right. Only 3 yards of total rushing yards there for St. Charles Catholic. The key for Independence, defense. That has been the key besides Joe Harris. They have 4 sacks. O'Neill, Brown, Gazzardo, and O'Neill all getting sacks for Independence. Here's Joe Harris on a tremendous run, getting all the way to the 47-yard line to get the first down. Defensively for Independence, it has been Gazzardo and O'Neill. They've combined for 10 tackles and 2 sacks.
Yeah, they're 2 very good football players. Joe O'Neill does a good job at defensive tackle. Rex Gazzardo, very underrated defensive end. Right now we're seeing this the case for St. Charles, just having trouble stopping Joe Harris.
As always, not too many teams have been able to stop him. Here's Harris on the delay. Tremendous speed. He gets all the way out to the 29-yard line. And again, a good hole, but then it was just the flat-out speed there by Harris.
It's a cutback play. Independence runs very effectively. That's the play that Joe Harris scored on against A. Meade on a nice run. It's a little cutback play. You get the defensive flow one way, cuts back against the grain. It's a nice play. It's worked well for Independence this year.
And of course, the team to initiate that play was way back in 1983 with the Washington Redskins. They were the first people to really design that football play. Flags on the play.
Flag on the play.
And it will most definitely be against Independence, and it is illegal procedure against them.
5 yards.
5 yards will be lost.
Ball rests on the 33-yard line. 34-yard line.
26-7 here in the third period of play. Just under 10 minutes left to play. Again, a lone setback is Joe Harris. Off to the right is number 4, Johnson. Harris wants to pass. He goes for the end zone. Johnson, touchdown. What can't Joe Harris do? Unbelievable. He gets the ball on the sweep and hits Marion Johnson. Touchdown, Independence.
Todd, that's the dilemma that the defense is put into when you're having success running the football. You have to bring your defensive back closer to the line of scrimmage. They have to force on run pursuit because they're getting dominated at the line of scrimmage. And then it leaves Marlon Johnson wide open for the touchdown as Danny Leitner knocks through the extra point. The Tigers lead 33-7 with 9:43 to play in the third quarter. But once again, Todd, that's the dilemma that this ground success for Independence has. Joe Harris is just having a phenomenal night all around tonight.
He certainly is. He has done it running, and now he has done it passing the football. From 39 yards out, he connects with Marlon Johnson.
Second half's being brought to you compliments of Pete Sr. and Pete Jr., both registered pharmacists at Paul's.
Kicking off with the Tigers, number 3.
Compliments of Pete's Value Right Pharmacy, located at 101 West Railroad Avenue in Independence, where you get personalized service as well as computerized prescription profiles. That's Pete's Pharmacy at 101 West Railroad Avenue, located in Independence.
We may be in store for a blowout. The score here is 33-7, but let's not say blowout very loudly, because St. Charles has had a tendency to come back in football games. Mark, what has St. Charles done in the second half this year?
Well, against Hannon, they were down. I think it was roughly the same score. It was 20-something to 7. They came back in the second, 27-7, I think. They came back in the second half and won 32-27. So they have been a second-half football team. Of course, they haven't been dominated physically like this all year, so that we'll have to see how that happens. But they are a second-half football team.
James around the left side, but he is brought down. That is number 85, Mark Dennis. Good defensive pursuit. And I talked about it just before the break, and this characterizes just the tremendous pursuit by Independence. Basically what we saw on that last couple of series by St. Charles is the offensive line simply standing up and running in the reverse direction. They have just been under a tremendous amount of pursuit.
Well, Todd, St. Charles, you know, a very well-coached football team, has a lot of good football players, but they have two dilemmas here, Todd. One is they are undersized, matched up with Independence. They're a much smaller football team. Independence is also a stronger football team, having, I think, 5 kids at power clean over 300 pounds. Compounded with that, St. Charles does not have very much foot speed, and they have to execute every play. And it's just hard for them to get any momentum going in their conventional offense because of the physical domination. But they're doing as well as they can. It's just that if the matchup with Independence's defense, they're just having trouble.
Well, the penalty brings them all the way out to the 45-yard line. That's where they set up 1st and 10. Play fake. Passman back to pass. He's a little confused. He throws it away, and it's intercepted. There was not a single St. Charles receiver within 30 yards of that play. I have no idea what Passman was thinking.
Todd, Passman has been hounded all night long, and I think you're starting to see the pressure of Independence's ferocious defensive pass rush get to him a little bit. He's reluctant to run the football. He had a little bit of a lane there to run, so he just heaved it up for grabs, and Darren Brister was there for the pickoff. And the Tigers are in business once again, Todd, and this very easily could turn into a rout here with 9:02 to play in the third quarter.
If you're just joining us, this is Tangipahoa Television. I'm Todd Rossnagel along with Mark Willoughby. It's 9 minutes left to play in the third. Suarez wants to pass on the little in slot. And again, that is Johnson on the inside slant there, a play that Saints fans don't like to see because that's what killed the Saints on the 49ers drive. That's very typical of a pro-style Jerry Rice type of play there.
It's a typical 3-step drop, the slant. St. Charles is trying to take away the out routes. They're giving a big seam right here on the slant pattern. They're starting to take it away here with a defensive end coming out, but Joe Harris, another big hole.
Go, baby, go, baby.
And Harris won't get much. One St. Charles defender had the audacity of trying to bring him down with one arm. Well, guess what? That's not going to work against Joe Harris. You need to get the entire body there, and then when you get him with your entire body, hope and pray very hard, because it is extremely difficult to bring down that one individual named Joe Harris, the state's leading rusher. He's been doing it all evening long. And he has highlighted this drive. He has highlighted the second half. He put the ball in the air and hit Marlon Johnson for a touchdown. Here's the give all the way down to the 6-yard line.
Todd, Independence fans got to be happy to see Frank Galafora back in action. It was in the spring game of this year when Frank went down late in the game with a knee injury. He wasn't hit by anyone. He just knee buckled, tore some ligaments. We thought, the Tiger community thought he would be out for the year. It wasn't quite as bad as anticipated. He rehabbed very intensely, came back in the 6th week against Albany. He's having a fine year. He's a little, not quite where he was before, but Independence fans have to be happy to see him running well.
Tremendous defensive pursuit there. Galaforo is nailed by number 44 for St. Charles, but believe it or not, number 44 comes out on the wrong end. That's Maggie Wagaspuck. He makes a tremendous hit, but ends up getting hurt on the play. He runs off the sidelines. Looks like he'll be all right. 33-7, Independence. They are poised to score once again. Backs are in an I formation. The give is to Harris on the pitch. To the left side. Touchdown, Independence.
Todd, T-Ray Collins had an outstanding block from his wide receiver position to allow Harris to break outside and pounce over for what looked like a 14-yard touchdown run. It's hard to tell with no line markers on the field, but it looked like about a 13-yard run. We're hearing now Danny Leitner will come in to see if he can make the score 40-7. But once again, Independence, the key to Joe Harris tonight is Independence offensive line is physically whipping the St. Charles defense.
The extra point is blocked, so the score remains 39-7. 6:41 left to play in the third quarter.
2:13. Second half actions being brought to you by Custom Tees and Sweats in Hammond, Representative Buster Gazzardo, Alessi's, Paul's Pharmacy, Big Four Auto Parts and Smitty Supplies, Ragusa Building Supplies, Pete's Pharmacy, and Robert's Hair Design, located in downtown Hammond. And remember, at Roberts on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, they have free color correction and evaluation of your hair. So if you look in the mirror and you see your hair is the wrong color, give Roberts a call and they'll freely change the color for you. And that's on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Call them for an appointment.
St. James on 2 off. They could have beat St. James.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, after a slightly scary start to this football game, it is well in the hands of Independence. Oh, 39-7. I'm laughing because St. Charles has a lane, and he'll return this kickoff all the way to the 17-yard line. And that was number 1, Milton Singleton, and the last time I said his name was after the first play of the game.
Well, Todd, on that play right there, Singleton no doubt made a great kickoff return, but there is no other illustration better of Joe Harris's speed than right there. He ran down Singleton from 10 yards behind, just flat ran him down and lassoed him at the 15-yard line. Great play by Joe Harris.
Nonetheless, a great play. However, St. Charles is in real good position here at the 15-yard line, 1st and 10. And they'll get a couple from number 36 for St. Charles. That is Chad Intremont. And he hustles off to the sidelines. Not much on the play there for St. Charles. 7 yards to go here for the first down. 2nd down and 7. James is the lone setback. They give this to him, but he is stopped right at the line of scrimmage by Joe Brown and Chris Thompson. Again, another good example of Independence defensive line.
Todd, you saw Chris Thompson slide down the line on the St. Charles' zone running play. Slid down the line from the backside and brought him down after only a couple gain of about 2. It's going to bring 3rd down and 5.
3rd and 5, ball on the 11-yard line. Passman wants to pass, and it is tipped and falls incomplete. Flags on the play. Roughing the passer against Independence. It is a questionable call there by the referees. But nonetheless, it has been called, and St. Charles will have the ball at the 1-yard line as a result of that. No, actually, it's at the 6 or 5-yard line. Ball is at the 6-yard line. 1st and goal. Passman on the bad snap. He wants to run, but he will not get near the end zone. Passman had a little trouble with the snap. Not much more than that. Gain of about 3. Brings the ball, well, actually about a gain of 1. Brings the ball to the 4-yard line. 39-7 is the score. What are they going to need to do here?
Well, basically, they got to put it in the end zone, Todd. They might try to throw a pass in the flats right here, it looks like. No, going to have a toss. And James has the corner, and he's going to be run down by Tofield on a nice play.
Reggie Tofield showing his speed on the defensive pursuit there. Nice play.
Yeah, Tofield, he's a good runner. He's a 4.6 runner as well. He's got good speed. He's an aggressive player. He likes to hit, and he did a good job right there on Peter James.
3:53 remains in the 3rd quarter. It is 3rd down and goal for St. Charles. Ball all the way to the left slot. They've got wide receivers to the left and to the right. Quarterback sneak. And for the first time this evening, that's a touchdown. For the first time this evening, the St. Charles offensive line actually does the job.
They did a nice job. They got a good push. You know, it's a wet weather. Defensive linemen have a hard time. Offensive linemen have an advantage in wet weather when it comes to pushing defensive linemen for short yardage if they can get under them. And right there, they did a nice job. Passman pushed his way in the end zone. St. Charles will go for 2. St. Charles showing they're not going to quit. They're not going to lay down and die. 39-13. They're going to go for 2 and try to bring it within 24 with 3:33 to play.
Wish they caught him.
Tonight's game's being brought to you by Pete's Pharmacy. Pete's Value Right Pharmacy, located at 101 West Railroad Avenue in Independence. Ragusa Building Supplies Company, located on Highway 51 in Independence. Compliments of the Big 4 Auto Parts Store on Highway 51 in Independence. And Smitty Supplies, located on Highway 51, just north of Roseland. Alessi's was stored in Independence, Kentwood, Amite, and Hammond. Alessi's has always been known for TVs and stereos, and now is becoming just as well known for appliances. Be sure to stop by one of the Alessi stores to pick out your Christmas presents. A great place to shop. And here in Independence, their store is located at 106 West Railroad Avenue. Phone number 878-9269. For the perfect Christmas present, stop by one of the Alessi stores. Independence, Kentwood, Hammond, or Amite.
The point after tip is coming up.
Here comes the point after. They are going for 2. James, he wants to throw into the end zone. It's intercepted. Anthony Hurst intercepts. The two-point conversion fails. It is 39-13 in favor of Independence. And I don't think you'll see Coach Baglio just sit on his laurels here. I think you're going to see him come out gunning.
No, Todd. Anytime you have a team with the explosive offensive capabilities of St. Charles, or the diversity that they have, they can put points on the board. So Independence is going to try to score with them, score as many as they can, because, like I said, they came back against a good football team in Hannon, and anything's possible in high school football, as you well know, Todd.
Yes, definitely, indeed.
Kicking off for the Comets will be number 15, Clayton Madera. In to receive for the Tigers, number 3, Joe Harris.
Three minutes and 33 seconds remain in the third quarter. And there's the kickoff. Flags on the play. Big seam to the 30. Breaks his stride and goes to the 20-yard line.
Kickoff to the 20-yard line of St. Charles. Flag on the play.
There are flags on the play, however, and taking a look at the Independence players, obviously this one is going to be brought back. That was Darren Brister on the return for Independence. Taking it all the way to the 20-yard line, but it will be brought back. That'll be a clip against Independence.
Tigers will be penalized half the distance to the goal line for a clip. They'll have it first down and 10 from the 11-yard line.
So Independence will take over at the 11-yard line. First and 10, and that kills you.
Well, the clip took away a nice return from Darren Brister, the freshman. It looked like it happened early, right as he caught the football. It's unfortunate, but the Tigers will have to drive 89 yards if they're to score here.
They give to Harris. He bounces outside, but he won't get much, and another flag comes down.
Flag on the play.
As Harris runs around the right side, a holding against Independence. And that is the 5th time tonight they've been flagged for holding. And they're not, they haven't been flagged, I don't think, that much for holding this year.
Well, actually, they have had their share of holding calls. Talking about the Tigers. Of course, tonight it's a little bit rather one-sided with the holding calls. I don't know the reason. I guess the Tigers are holding just about every play in the referee's eyes, but I have no explanation for it.
They give to Harris. He's running out of his own end zone, and he'll be stuffed.
Joe Harris on the carry.
He is brought down.
About 2 yards.
Brought down by number 25, Damian Fryo.
Stop by Damian Fryo. Will bring up a second down and 14.
Second down and 14 now for Independence. As they are back in their own territory, deep. They're at the 6 or 7 yard line. They give to Harris. He is stuffed again. And it appears that Independence offensive line seems to be a little tired.
Well, they go both ways, Todd, and St. Charles 2 platoons, so I think that was expected. That's why it was important for them to jump out ahead early, big. And I think they may be tiring just a little bit, but St. Charles is fired up right now, so you got to give them credit also.
3rd Third down and 12 for the Tigers from the 9-yard line.
3rd and 11 from the 9. They give it to Harris up the middle. And he runs into his own player, number 64.
Close for a Tiger first down.
And he is to about the 20-yard line, where it'll be close for the first. But we'll have to see what the chains will dictate here. Very close to the first down. And they are going to bring out the chains, and we'll measure for the first down.
Tigers are short by a half a yard.
And it appears that Coach Baglio, after that appears that they are going to be short of the first down, it appears that they are going to punt the football away. Still, you have to be cautious.
Well, I think right here that's probably the correct move, Todd. You don't want to risk turning the ball over at the 20-yard line and giving St. Charles a chance for an easy score. So I think punting is the right move right here.
I agree. I think the offensive line looks to be a little tired here. Great punt. Beautiful punt all the way to the 42-yard line. And he has a lane and brings it all the way to the other 40-yard line. That's Independence 40-yard line.
Tiger territory at the 47-yard line.
But credit Robbie Powell with a tremendous punt.
Nice punt by Robbie Powell. He got the Tigers out of a little bit of a hole, but you had a nice return by Chad Entremont. Brings the ball a little bit further back than I thought, to the 42-yard line, where St. Charles has good field position, Todd, so if they can put another drive together, they can get back in the game.
The third quarter has flown by. We are under 1 minute to play in the third quarter. Independence with good field, St. Charles with good field position again for the second time in this half. Same play as before in the first half. Complete to Passman. If you will remember, early on in the first play from scrimmage for St. Charles, they ran that same play, and that took them all the way down to the goal line. This time it's a gain of 15. Basically, it's a reverse pass. Singleton will take the ball on the reverse, and then he passes to the quarterback, Passman. 1st and 10 at the 27. Again the reverse. This time Singleton keeps, though. Gets back to about right about the line of scrimmage. Joe Brown brings him down. It's about a gain of 1. So St. Charles running the trick play here in the end of the third quarter.
Todd, St. Charles is pulling out all the stops. They feel like that's what they have to do to win this football game. Right there, another reverse.
They gave us to James, and I'll tell you, not to take anything away from Peter James, but you take a look at him and then you take a look at Joe Harris, and there's a big difference.
Well, Joe Harris is a bigger, stronger, faster kid. He's older. But Peter James does a great job, though. You got to give him a lot of credit.
The third quarter has come to an end. It is 39-13 Independence.
Fourth quarter action here on Channel 17 will be brought to you compliments of Paul's Pharmacy. Paul Dern is owner. It's located at 208 West Railroad Avenue in Independence. At Paul's Pharmacy, they care about you and your health. Paul offers patient counseling and computerized prescription profiles. The phone number at Paul's Pharmacy is 878-4401 or 878-2826. and they are located at 208 West Railroad Avenue in Independence. Compliments of State Representative Buster Gazzardo, your full-time representative in Baton Rouge. Representative Gazzardo is accessible, and he has worked diligently to help the state and the district. His door is always open. That's State Representative Buster Gazzardo. Alessi's was store at Independence, Hammond, and Kentwood. Compliments of Big Four Auto Parts store on Highway 51 in Independence, and Smitty Supplies located on Highway 51 just north of Roseland.
And welcome back to the game. St. Charles has the ball on the 19-yard line, 3rd and 7. They are driving. Got a new player in there, number 82. He's split out to the right side. They give us to James. Looking for some running room, but he won't find any.
Peter James on the carry.
Run out of bounds by Joe Brown.
Will be short of the first down.
As well as number 61, Brian Capadona.
4th down and a yard.
And St. Charles will now have a 4th down. It'll be 4th and 1 for St. Charles. I don't think there's anyone here that's doubting that they'll go for it. Peter James, their main running back, has left the ball game. The only one in there for St. Charles is 36, Roger Rollery. But Passman will pick up the 1st down on the quarterback sneak. So the quarterback sneak, something that St. Charles has implemented here in this football game. It went for a touchdown as well as a couple other plays.
Chris Thompson on the tackle, 1st down and 10.
1st and 10 now for the Comets at the 15-yard line.
Got to give St. Charles a lot of credit, Todd. They're not quitting, showing a lot of heart and desire, trying to get back in this football game. A score right here could possibly bring it within 18 or 19 points.
Joe Margavio is the lone setback. And the give is to him.
On the play.
Number 85, Mark Dennis, is the stop for Independence. Tried to run another trick play there, and it failed.
Well, it's a little high draw where a little Statue of Liberty play, or whatever you want to call it. Mark Dennis read it the whole way. He didn't bite, and unfortunately for the Tigers, he took some momentum away from St. Charles. 7-yard loss, 2nd down and 17.
2nd and 15 for the Comets. Passman, he wants to run. Oh, what a move by Passman. He has a lane to run, and he took it. This is rather surprising. He takes the ball all the way to the 8-yard line, and Mark, we talked about it all evening long. He has had that lane to run, but just has chosen not to do it, and here he gets the gain.
Well, he had to right there to get any chance. The Tigers' defensive backs had the Comets' receivers covered really well. Had a big hole, big lane to run in, and he took advantage of it. Darren Brister makes a nice play to stop the touchdown.
2nd and 5 for the Comets. James, fumble. It appears that the Tigers have recovered the football.
They should have it. And no, they do not get the Tigers.
It has certainly appeared that Independence fell on that football.
They will give the ball to the Comets.
And the ball has been given to the Comets of St. Charles. A rather interesting play there. It looked to me that Independence may have fallen on the football. Nonetheless, St. Charles, 4th down. Two yards to go. James on the sweep, stopped. Marlon Johnson on the tremendous tackle there for Independence. Marlon Johnson simply act like the blocker that was supposed to block him wasn't even there. Great play.
Well, the Tigers got a little upset about a bad call by the officials. The Tigers recovered that fumble. There's no doubt about that. Marlon Johnson just snuffed out the play, made a great tackle, one-on-one, and the Tigers will have it first down and 10.
They have the ball 1st and 10 at the 12-yard line. Just under 10 minutes left to play in this football game. So far, by our rough count, Harris has 213 yards. Make it 218. Gets about 5 on that play. That'll bring up 2nd and 5.
Jeremy Claybear.
Jeremy Claybear is there for the Comets.
Picks up 6. They bring up 2nd down and 4.
And right here, I imagine Coach Baglio is just going to want to let that clock run.
I think you're going to see him pound the football right here at our classic Independence football. St. Charles is really playing hard. You got to give these kids a lot of credit. They're not quitting. Taking their last gasp of breath.
Luke Suarez on the carry for the Tigers.
Suarez keeps it on the keeper. And he'll pick up the 1st down. And they'll move the chains.
Chad Daigle picks up the Tiger 1st down. It is a Tiger 1st down.
So the Tigers get the 1st down on the Suarez keeper. Suarez gives to Tofield.
Tofield on the carry.
But Tofield is stopped by Daigle, and not much on that play. Tofield, of course, the next Joe Harris here at Independence High.
Well, right there you saw, once again, it's the veer play to Tofield. Almost broke a tackle there, but a nice play by Chad Daigle to stop him for a 3-yard gain. The Tigers are just going to pound this football, Todd. You can look for that all night for the rest of the game.
We're approaching 8 minutes left to play here in the game. Suarez on the in slant pass.
Pass intended for Ray Collins.
Ray Collins was the intended receiver, in and out of his hands. And now a fairly large play for Independence at 3rd and 8. Deep in their own territory, relatively speaking.
This is a big play. If the Tigers can pick up a 1st down right here, I think it'd be almost impossible for St. Charles to come back. You might want to look for a draw play or perhaps a toss right here.
I think you're going to see Harris on this one. No, it's a sweep off to Tofield. He'll get the 1st down. Reggie Tofield, the running back that Independence has gone to in the 4th quarter all year long. He's got fresh legs, and it also creates a different look for the defenses.
Well, Todd, he's the brother of one of Independence's greatest running backs of all time, Mike Tofield, and he runs hard. He has the same heart and desire that his brother Mike had. Nowhere near as big, but he runs just as hard. And Independence likes to go to him some late in the game because he is fresh.
They give this to Harris. He gets, wow.
Harris on the carry.